Assalamu alaikum fam, hope you're doing well. So, I do not think the niqab is anti-woman. And the reason I say this is because when you're undressed, right, it's almost like the brutal hyenas come to poke at your imperfections. And you receive so many glances that are like daggers upon your body. Okay? When you're completely uncovered, women will judge you for your breast size, the shape of your butt, how tall you are, your stomach, and even your nose shape. Women are constantly judging each other off of the beauty. Some women judge silently, others are more frontal in this kind of vain attack, and others will passive aggressively insult you and tell you what you need to fix. And this type of psychological attack makes many young girls highly insecure and actually cause the insane fat acceptance movement and cause some feminists to purposely make themselves ugly by shaving their head and growing their armpit hair out, putting in nose rings, eyebrow rings, and wearing horrifically drawn makeup and being purposely overweight. So the anti-beauty movement arose because of the hypersexual, photoshopped era of marketing. And because Photoshop and other means have created these fake images of women, this has caused anorexia, bulimia, and other disorders in women. And it has gone from something farther than personal health and happy contentment with a woman being healthy, fertile, and glowing with healthiness to beauty is all that matters. And that is one of the things that led to the imbeciles of the Kardashian clan from rising to power. Kylie Jenner spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, into the thousands, with plastic surgery. She even had her jaw shaved down, her lips made thicker. She had very thin pencil white lady lips before, and she got that fixed to have more Latina lips. So she completely altered herself, and little girls became attached to her fake plastic surgery created illusion. Okay? And then those girls bought her makeup thinking that they could look like her through buying the stuff that she sold, and so many girls have attached their personas and personalities to plastic surgery created women. So, the niqab goes around all of that. It doesn't allow you to be picked apart by really insane women, by plastic surgeons, by the fashion industry, by the makeup industry, or any other psychological vampiric network of consciousnesses that seek to undermine your virtue, dignity, and modesty. The niqab is a symbol of our faith, and it's a symbol of pretty much resisting the dunya, really resisting the very, very vapid sense of womanhood that has been created by the marketing industry since the 1920s. Again, modesty is not a crime. Modesty is not something evil. It's not something regressive. Showing your body is actually more regressive. Now, being part Italian and part Cherokee, I have a very unique experience on this, because obviously Cherokee women used to cover, but the men had more of their skin showing, and certain Christians called them barbarians for showing their bodies, and some atheists today contend that telling people to cover is wrong and you're calling them barbarians and you're a prude. But then at the same time, Italy is one of the fashion capitals of the world, and those women live by the almighty altar of the garment industry, the fashion industry, hence why so many companies are Italian brands. So I have this unique perspective of the Italian obsession with fashion, beauty, and women, and lust, and passion, and then the raw humanness of showing your body out. But then again, the tribal women didn't show their breasts, and they wore long leather dresses with beads, and they were not sexy Pocahontases like how Disney portrayed it. The men had their bare chests, but those were men who would put a tomahawk in your skull if you put your horse in the wrong place and came into the tribal lands. So I understand this, battle between primitive body showing and modesty, and how some perceive modesty as a prudeness, and how the very slimy, sticky, salty smelling sexual liberators contend that it's more posh, hip, and progressive to have open sexuality, open lewdness, and to constantly be making people stimulated through your flesh as you simply buy a gallon of milk or some eggs at the store. Those of us, essentially my point is that we Niqabis, many of us, when we go to the grocery store, we're not looking to make your eyes wonder. We don't need you staring at our butts and then grabbing yourself. We don't need your catcalls. We don't need to dress like we want you to come to us and then get mad when you do come to us. We're not into that. We cut off all people's opportunities to judge us or lust over us, and we see that as a noble affair, and that protects our womanhood and allows us to express ourselves in a way that pleases our Maker, helps us to become more disciplined, resilient, and steadfast, and makes our man feel special. We want to make our partners feel special. To say, no, sweetheart, this is only for you. It's only for you. And the men, they may be tempted by the loose women. Those loose women may be used like a jizz rag and tossed to the side, right? They may have their moments of temporarily leading a man to stray, but he will essentially go back, inshallah, to his righteous woman and seek repentance from Allah Azza wa Jal. So even if the man fails to lower his gaze, he still knows that he has something much better at home waiting for him, a woman who conceals herself just for him, or at least doesn't let everyone look at her really full figure form. Now, some men get really stimulated by having every dude check out their woman because they get their sense of manhood based upon the breast size of their woman and how other men get to see it but they don't get to touch it. That's a fetish that has been produced by the porn industry, where men now, especially a lot of male feminists, think that allowing other dudes to see every inch of your woman is powerful. It's very different than a man who says, my sweet woman respects me enough and loves me enough to want to cover, and she likes to cover, and we're happy because we're both doing good things and we're not encouraging the wrath of Allah upon us. Our goals are different. So I do not think that the Niqabi is anti-women, because femininity does not mean showing your breast to people for money. It doesn't mean showing your butt crack to men for money. It doesn't mean showing your camel toe. It doesn't mean showing your leg shape. For us, womanhood is more than making people horny as you wait in line to pay for your gas. For us, being a woman means having something so special, so rare, so unique, that you bestow it upon the one who is worthy. For us, our beauty is worthy to be seen by our partner. And that those who are unworthy and who have no business in seeing what the shape of our body is, we don't want them to see. This is not a crime. This is not something evil. If you hate modesty, you have really fallen victim to the dark arts, whether you believe it or not. Children should be able to see a woman who is modest and not always be forced to see the boobs, the stomach, the tongue ring, the camel toe of strange women in the street. Okay? They have a right, just as anyone else, to not constantly be assaulted by the body of other people. It's not bad for kids to see modest women and see women who are trying their best to not be lustful little beasts rolling around in muds of sin. It's good for little girls to see something other than Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and stripper culture. Recognize that fact and let us cover and don't target us, because we don't desire to be your mannequins of masturbation. You are free to do that. We are accountable to Allah alone, and you're the one who is the sick one if you want to undress us. If you are trying to prevent us from being how we want to be, and our being does not affect your being, you're the evil one. The niqab was a great gift to me. I remember how I felt the first time I put it on. I love it very much. It's a beautiful opportunity to have the privilege of wearing it. And for any woman or man to say I don't have a right to wear it, and that I'm bad for wearing it, and they want to ban me from wearing it in public, you're the shameful one. If it's okay to see free online porn that's subsidized because someone's paying for that server space, and we can see women in bikinis on billboards, on bus signs, at bus stops, and I can go somewhere and see some women almost in just a thong and with their nipples barely covered, that's okay for you lot, but then you're highly offended when I want to cover. If a woman can have her breasts out and distract the male teacher, and that's allowed, why can't I cover so that the male students don't stare at me, or the bisexual women, or the lesbians? Why do you want to make me a sex object? And why are you removing my consent? I don't consent for you to undress me. I don't consent for you to make me a masturbation object for strangers wherever I go. You're the hedonistic, sinful beast, not us, who seek to reject the temptations of this world and to not live and die by the flesh, but to rather rise above it spiritually and find a deeper meaning within ourselves. So, my womanness is not defined by me stimulating you through my body, nor is my womanness reduced simply because I don't get to flip my hair around and shake my hips as I walk to the store. But rather, my womanness is enhanced because I get to choose who I reveal it to, unwrapping myself like a little present. That is power. That is female dignity. That I get to choose whom gets to see my figure. That is not anti-woman, but rather preserving female dignity, which is under assault by the porn industry, Hollywood, the music industry, and other degenerates who seek to make us nothing more than walking masturbation objects. It's not a crime to be modest. The niqab is pro-woman.